I was never the type of chick to keep a razor blade under my tongue. I didn't need one. It would have been redundant. The message in my bottle had always been that of a Molotov cocktail, hurled at targets, lit by licking the wick of another person's flaws and insecurities, concocting quips that strip people of their dignity. Cracking jokes was always more like cracking whips, hands on hips engaged with rhetorical rage to pistol whip anyone at close range. Whether rope or rifle, my tongue was never an idle weapon, actively engaged in defensive battle with no attackers. Skilled at initiating combat with comrades, setting ablaze a forest with friendly fire. I stacked insults between intellect and insecurities, performing malicious monologues on a platform of pride. Fluent in sarcasm, a word that literally means to tear flesh. Speaking with a cat of nine tails, I was best at tearing old wounds afresh, holding people's past against them by nailing their so-called shortcomings to their softest spots, the mouth of a centurion at crucifixion, not knowing I'd be the one brought to my knees. I didn't think I was mean, just brutally honest. As if brutality in any form were ever a good thing. I didn't understand that words hurt. Nicknames like Horseface and Darkness for friends mocked the Imago Dei with words more machete than medicine. I remember the moment I felt the weight of my words as the crushing weight of the world on others. It was as if I had opened my eyes for the first time and saw a bloody field of relational casualties, wounded warriors coming home from war with my speech. I was 16 staring at this scene. But at 27, I often look up and think I'm still caught in this deja vu of a dream. The nightmares of a reality where my words are still sharp and my lips are unclean, where there should flow fresh spring, salt water dries and cracks the crevices of my mouth. But trying to lick my lips only inflicts Joker-like scars because it seemed I'd only sheathed my vocal sword. And I'm not sure if it's irony, God's comedy, or just the way he works, but from my current position, I see his intention to redeem my words, to tongue twist and flip my mindless chatter, mix it up in seasoning and batter, lacing my discourse with grace. But conviction for what comes from my face never feels like the coal on Isaiah's mouth. Instead, it feels like he's grabbing my chest and ripping my heart out. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So in order to use what I spit as salve, he's flushing my aortic valves, power washing my chambers with his word, and so replacing the contents of my former volatile chamber with his word, becoming slow to speak and creating verbal rest. Now when he says, watch your mouth, I'm looking at my chest. I never connected the dots that trace the explosives in my mouth to the shrapnel in my heart. But God has a way of leading us directly into truth and turning our turmoil into opportunities to be pruned and bear fruit. If a root is rotten, then what it leaves will surely be decomposed. Deadly poison on my tongue dripped from the well of bitterness in my heart that his grace exposed. And isn't it just like God to use our weaknesses to show his strength? To bring forth the antithesis of our frailties to show the righteous exchange, replacing the throat of an open grave with the spout of a jar of clay, gifted to proclaim his name in the glory of his grace through a resurrected muscle that once should have been muzzled. God took death from my mouth and put life in its place. Sometimes I still feel like I'm picking broken glass from my teeth. Sometimes the muscle that goes untrained feels untamed and still resembles a beast with no leash. A kind reminder of my need because I'm weak, but transformed by truth to speak of a life reclaimed, knowing when this poor, lisping, stammering tongue lies silent in the grave, then in a nobler, sweeter song, I'll sing thy power to save.